Yeah, let's talk about the toxic team. A week and a half ago, we had the story about the confrontation between their starting center, Joel Embiid, and a longtime basketball writer from the Philadelphia Inquirer, who had written a column that I thought stepped over the line in terms of a personal attack, but he was making reference to Embiid, the personality, and Embiid trying to talk about his legacy in Philadelphia. And the columnist wrote, "You ought to show up and work hard because I don't see any of that." And Embiid had a confrontation with the columnist, and not only was it curse words, but Embiid put his hands on shoved the columnist, and Embiid wound up getting suspended for 3 games. So now Philadelphia, they're 2-12, highest payroll Philadelphia's ever had, marquee guys, a lot of injuries, including Paul George, who got hurt again last night, as now may have a major knee injury. There was a team meeting the other night that lasted an hour after the game, and they yelled and screamed at each other post-game. Everybody out in the lobby heard it. And Tyrese Maxey, their lead point guard, got in Embiid's face, and he told him, "We are tired of you being tardy for everything. Practice, walkthroughs, team meetings, social functions. You owe us. You owe these players in this room. You owe that coach. You owe the ownership to be a better person." And there was a big dialogue back and forth of screaming and yelling. So Tyrese Maxey, the lead point guard, who I think is a star in the making, telling Embiid, "This is who you are. This is who we believe you are. Need to change it." And then I thought to myself, hell, that's the same thing that the columnist said about Embiid. Now his own teammates are calling him out.
Yeah.
So that's really ugly. They go out last night, they get beat again, and now Paul George goes down with what they fear is a significant knee injury. They think there's structural damage. So that's Philadelphia. That is a disaster. 2-12 with all those star players. Second item, I asked when they drafted him, is this the right guy? Because his ability to hit threes at the University of Tennessee is different from his ability to get the shots off in the NBA. And could he play any level of NBA defense? Because we're not talking about a guy with great foot quickness. Yeah, I guess I can apologize now to Knecht. Dalton Knecht, number 1 pick, Tennessee Vols. He went off for 37 his last game.
Right on.
Hit 9 threes. Hey, Hacksaw, shut the bleep up. He's really played well to the point now, because of injuries, he's going to be their starting shooting forward. And if this kid can produce like this kid has produced last 4 games, it's like a light bulb went on. All of a sudden, he understood mechanics of getting the shot off versus not taking a bad shot. He's shooting 40% from the floor, from the threes, from the arc.
That's good.
In the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like Tennessee's playing Middle Tennessee State. He's talking about doing this against NBA guys. So he's playing pretty well. But the Lakers are dinged up. But they're off to a really good start at 11-4. Whether this keeps up remains to be seen, because Anthony Davis and LeBron are playing an awful lot of minutes. So you got Joel Embiid. You got Dalton Knecht. And John Riley says,
Joel Embiid is a dog. I mean, what's he doing? You know, I mean, he's a smart guy. I mean, I follow him on Instagram and the process and everything he's all about. And he just seems to be in grudge mode for some reason. I mean, did someone piss him off, or what happened?
I don't understand why you could act that way. You're making all this money. I mean, he's making in excess of $40 million a year.
Yeah.
It's on a second NBA contract. Granted, he's had knee problems, but that should not dictate missing meetings, showing up late for practice, showing up late for appointment. It's just, as Tyrese Maxey said, this is all the time. You owe us, them, the owners, the fans. You owe us better. I don't understand Embiid's mental outlook on life. Why would you do that, considering you just got paid a volume of money because you earned it in your first contract? Weird.
Well, it's one thing if a sports writer gets into your head and starts giving you trouble. But when your teammates do it and you have like an intervention in the locker room, then hopefully this will wake him up and get him to change a bit, because he's too damn good of a player to see this 76er team not doing really well.
So Dalton Knecht wants you to tell me I was wrong.
Nice to see a rookie, you know, all of a sudden, like you say, the light switch goes on and the Lakers really could use him to be a productive guy like that. So if he's in the starting rotation, who is not in the starting rotation?
Hachimura is hurt. Dinged.
Okay.
And they get some of their other guys are dinged too. But boy, if he can average double digits and hit critical threes, that makes somebody you got to defend, which means that's one less guy that might be defending King James or AD.
Remember back when the draft went down and there were all these guys being drafted out of France and everywhere else. Are there any of the other rookies like really off to good starts?
The French kids who went 1-2 are really scuffling, but they're young. Zach Rissache, who was the number one pick out of Atlanta, I think is shooting 28% from the floor. But that's a young big man playing against the bigs in the NBA. And Alex Sarr, I believe, Washington Wizards, who went number 2, he's shooting maybe 25%. He's a little bit overwhelmed with the physicality down on the baseline. You're not turning and hitting shots against some other Slim Jim center. You're trying to go over the top of some of the best big men in the NBA. So the top 2 picks are really scuffling and struggling. So we'll see. Knecht has had 4 really good games in a row. Let's just see if this thing continues. Next topic,